First of all, well, before I come to the the formalities, we do have another 15 minutes to discuss any things that people have pending in their minds, or to sort of share any final thoughts. So, Itamar, yes.
I have nothing to say. No,
Really? What's that? Yeah. No, the bus is at 12:45. So, like I said, we have 20 minutes. We don't have to. Yeah, Krishna. He has something to say.
So, with all the stalwarts of the glass physics over here, can we make some prediction of what's going to happen in the next decade or so from now, which will be a hot topic in this soft matter physics? Or, yeah. Okay.
Can you say the question again?
Okay, so can we make some prediction of what's going to be happening in the next 5 years from now, which will be consuming most of the minds of the world in soft matter physics?
I certainly hope that it's not most of the minds of soft matter physics. I mean, I think the strength of soft matter physics is that it's really a very broad subject, and that spurred by experiment, have I said that before? Experiment is important to emphasize new phenomena coming out in all sorts of areas, from fluid dynamics to active matter to the physics of disorder, which is kind of what this is. I mean, we've been concentrating very much on glasses here, but I think if it's more of the general area of disordered matter and how that behaves, and being far from equilibrium and disordered is a special case. But those are all wonderful new topics that, well, some are not that new, but they're still spewing out new results. I mean, there are new concepts that come along, and, you know, I'm too myopic, so I know the ones that I'm interested in, but I think the ones that I've been talking about here have been, you know, memory and learning and those things which are have at least the possibility of having legs, in the sense that they could influence industrial processes in a way which, you know, it's not exactly what I know how to do, but you can see that the idea is that you're able to make things that do things, and you can make things that do things that you didn't know, you didn't have to design them from scratch to make that happen. So that's a new kind of way of thinking about manipulating matter. And so I find that as an interesting thing. Now, will that, I mean, I hope that's just one example, because it's the one that I happen to know about, but I would hope that there would be many other things. I mean, I know people are looking at levitated matter and all the interactions you can get with levitated matter. That's a different thing. It's about you know, the hydrodynamics in the ocean and how particles coalesce and so forth. That's also part of soft matter, not necessarily our particular section of soft matter, but I think it's a fascinating new area for us to be excited about, that we are, you know, optimistic for all of that.
Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah. So, just to add a little bit in terms of my own sort of thoughts after the discussion yesterday, I think one thing that as a community we should sort of do is to, in fact, more actively look out for where the interesting experiments are being done, uncovering things we hadn't thought about, and that probably is an agenda item for us to, because I think one thing that has happened a lot and quite intensely in the recent years is to in fact focus on what many of us believe are sort of core or fundamental aspects of the glass problem. But it's you know, for it to be universal, it has to go out and be able to explain a wider variety of systems and phenomena, and maybe the focus shifting to those more actively would be an interesting thing. And Sid always emphasizes the role of the experimentalist is to sort of come up with surprises, and I guess we should look out for where the surprises are, which also theorists, yes. In a different way, yes. So I think, so maybe let's hope for more surprises, both theoretically and experimentally in the coming years. And I think we also, I'm saying, should, I think, you know, whenever we're thinking about any research area, we tend to filter it in different ways. And one filter is to say, let's not sort of try to take the whole enchilada in and choke, but you know, let's be selective about which things we're focusing on. But I think it's also good to sort of once in a while to sort of let that guard down and say, let's sort of look more broadly and see if there are things that we've been ignoring. So I mean, for me, the last session actually was very stimulating, because I think regardless of what our individual take on what was described, I think one thing that I guess everybody will agree is that aging is sort of a fundamental characteristic of the glass problem, which Itamar has something to say.
I'd just like to add something. I have no idea where the field is going to go, but what I want to say is share concerns about where the world is going to go. I mean, this is serious. I see in many of our countries, I come from a country where the extreme right is taking over. I'm very concerned. But not just my country. I think in Europe, in the United States, in India, we are experiencing in recent years a decline in the liberal, open, positive culture that is conducive for open research and exchanges and things like this. I think this is very worrisome, and I think we all have to be concerned about this and do whatever we can to revert to the more open and inclusive societies we had before. I'm not saying that there were no mistakes made by liberals everywhere, not always dealing with the most important problems at hand, but I think that the concerted attack now on democracies, including by the social networks, are things that we all have to be concerned about if we care about the continuation of the wonderful science that we have seen over the last 50 years.
Yeah. No, I think one thing to keep in mind in terms of what Itamar said, both in terms of the cultures of science as well as the broader cultural landscape, is the younger lot who are not speaking right now know only the 21st century reality. And so I think it's also a job for the rest of us to describe in convincing enough terms what it had been like when we thought things were okay. And anyway, but thanks, Krishna, for actually taking the mic and saying something which then gives me an entry into going to the back of the room and saying, why don't you guys say something about what you are going to take away from this meeting? So I'm coming there to pass the mic around.
20 seconds.
No, yeah, okay. You want to start? Okay, then. Okay, who wants to start? Who? Rajesh? No. Yeah, I don't want to put anybody in the spot, but do sort of share your thoughts about, you know, many of you said you enjoyed. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
So from this, I get that in these classy systems, we should also adapt to this little bit ML and AI, which will be the future. So we have to take a little turn about that thing also. Means this is the thing which I get.
Fernando wants to say something.
In these days, when I work on some certain problem like the rheology of glasses, but from this meeting I got the idea that in the past there was like very rich variety of topics was there. For example, this Gilles talk, like how, it looks, I got the impression that there was certain time when mean field theory was like a very big thing in glass physics and very hot topic, and how the things are changing to particular topics nowadays and very subsets, and maybe, yeah, we have to look back and get the feelings like there was a big theoretical big aim to understand the theory of glasses in the past, and we new peoples are not in touch of that. And yeah, so this meeting gave me the taste of that.
Okay. My personal take-home message is one from Itamar and one from Misaki from a previous meeting. Misaki in his slides said that predicting is not equal to understanding. So here I will speak orthogonal to what Ethesam said. Maybe it's not, at least I don't like to directly go to machine learning or AI when I want to solve some problem. Yeah, one should understand, even if that is the last resort to go to do ML, but there should be some take home from ML. What did the machine understand that we want to understand? And second thing is kind of related, what Idamar said. So don't go to extremely complex systems right away. Go bottom up. Like start with the simple things, simplest possible things, try to understand them, and see where they branch up. So these are the two things that I take.
Okay, so yeah, I realized that importance of experiment, and today I'm quite impressed by Anil's talk. Usually he show always complicated tensor and very fundamental aspect, but his explanation about experimental data is very amazing. So that shows the importance of experiment and what the experiment can derive to theoretical question. So in terms of machine learning, what I feel a bit of optimistic view, but one of the important problem now, at least some of us, is computational, sampling, how to equilibrate glassy material like this. But in terms of machine learning is very good at if you impose some rule, like a chess, play Go. We saw the history that machine learning beat all human. So as long as we impose rule very carefully, machine learning in the end beat everything. So for us, okay, we have a target Hamiltonian. Let machine equilibrate. Somehow the game is quite clear. So equilibrate as fast as possible. I don't have idea, but in 5 years, 10 years, someone maybe solve this problem. And then, at that moment, okay, we reach Kautzman of a very big sump system. I think we will face with some issue. Oh, then theoretically, what does it mean? Okay. So in that moment, we will need really great theoretical understanding, like Jill is always, thinking. So I'm feeling like this.
What I want to say that currently we are doing ML and all in the class also, but producing the data, and so much data is getting produced, and as Anil told about his emission from the cement and CO2 emission, the same thing we can say about the ML, where we are using consumption of the energy is too large, that it's harmful. It is very harmful for the new generation, coming generation. So yeah, I understand that ML is good in it is a good thing, but in the same time, can we somehow come with a optimum solution where we have the ML in such a way that the energy which is we are producing, which is harmful for our environment, so that can be should be balanced, which is previously when people start studying the glass physics and all, what I understand, they start from very basic things with the theoretical frameworks and all, but for the machine learning, we are still not what I feel that I'm still not able to grasp how it is impacting the research, which is ongoing research is happening. So yeah, with those things should be optimized in a such way that it will beneficial for the future generation and all.
This is homework for you for the future, the next 5 years. Yeah, the next UCGP.
Okay, so the summary of all those remarks seems to be that the young people have ML on their mind, one way or the other. Part of the reason could be the workshop that we had last week, but it could be more. But I think, yeah, I mean, it's something that's going to be part of the research landscape as well as everything else. So I think it's good to think about it and think about how to put it to good use. So, okay, so I think that sort of brings us to the end of the discussion and the meeting. But before we conclude, I have the pleasure of acknowledging all the people who contributed to making this a wonderful event. So let me actually start with all of you. No meeting succeeds if the participants don't contribute in an exciting way, and I think this was a meeting where I felt like I was engaged all the 5 days, and I got something out of all the talks and the discussions, and so I think the current round is probably the one where I see enthusiasm flagging a little bit, but all the other open discussions we had were very actively participated in. So let me start by thanking all the speakers and all the participants for making this a vibrant meeting. But on the other side, the meeting was put together and organized by the efforts and help of a large number of people. So I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge all their help. So the primary forces behind this event are Ranjini, Sayanthan, and Rituparna. So They really worked amazingly as a team with their administration and have been extremely efficient. And no, I can't. You can say that, but I can't. And yeah, but and as I mentioned in the first day, the RRI administration, starting with the director, the administrative officer, and the chief administrative officer, have all been very helpful and cooperative. So thanks to them. So, and I would also like to acknowledge and thank the local organizing committee members, the IT team of Arun, Suresh, and the other names I'm reading, Arunima, Sachin, Subbu, Rahul, Gayatri, I guess many of you were in touch with her, Lino and Manoharan, and Savita at the guest house, Bhujangarao, the canteen and the guest house staff, Velu, Ramamurthy, Suresh, the accounts officer, office help staff, Murali, Raja, Naveen, and the MB staff, and then several volunteers. I don't know if they're here, and if you don't mind, you can stand up. Sonali, Maitri, Abhishek, Gadai, Abhijit, Shaon, Sayantan, Saumen, Abhishek Rao, and Vaibhav. Yeah. So thank you very much for helping making this a very smoothly run meeting. And again, thank you all who came. We were very happy to have you. And I hope there will be more occasions in the future. Thank you very much. So, okay, no, Ranjan. Who are going to Satwam, there will be vans waiting downstairs, and the others are eating at the usual place. Okay, so yeah, in terms of the lunch arrangements, some people must have received emails saying we're going to a nearby restaurant. So those people will be taken by a couple of vans that are waiting downstairs. And the others have the lunch arrangement in the usual place, right? And next UCGP, I don't think there's anything concrete. I think this is something that we will mull over in the coming year. That's right. Yeah, so Mahesh has possibly offered Okinawa. Okay, well, yeah. Anyway, no, but I think that's a slower decision, and I don't have any announcement to make on that. But as I mentioned in the discussion yesterday, something for us to think about when and where. We have some thoughts. You'll get to hear. Okay, so with that note of suspense, let's bring this meeting to an end.
Sorry, someone has left this yesterday. If I'm keeping it here.
Actually, yesterday during the dinner time, somebody left their AirPods. So whoever it belongs to, if anyone. Okay.
We show this at the restaurant.